आपके प्रदेश का फाइबर है?
बोलिए.
So Pashmina is actually a luxurious fiber, as you all have already mentioned.
Okay.
So it is considered warm, lightweight, and it has got it is hypoallergic.
Okay.
It has got many benefits when it comes to the Pashmina. So it's taken from the wool for the Pashmina is taken from the Capricorn's goat, and which is found in the upper reaches of the Ladakh. And we do get the fiber from there, and we get it the wire, which is usually called the yarn, is prepared on the charkha, and then we take it to the looms. There we get it prepared through the artisan. Then it's ready for the selling, and it has a very good value in the market.
Okay, it's good general view of Pashmina. Anybody else?
Sir, also the micron of Pashmina, like the basic difference between other wools and Pashmina fiber is the microns. It varies from 10 to 12 microns, like minimum. So like it is something that is naturally grown, and getting that micron is something very unexpected in the other regions. So it is the highest thing in Pashmina.
Great, very good. This is the high altitude area. That's why the natural gift to the goat is with the Pashmina fiber. Yeah. Anybody else? What remaining?
Major difference about this is the origin. That is the origin.
Yeah, we'll discuss everything. Origin, everything we'll discuss.
It is the undercoat.
Pash means soft gold. So Pashmina is soft gold. Pashmina.
It's a Persian
Persian
word.
gold. Correct?
This is Persian.
Persian word.
Persian word. So this is in many literature it is referred as soft gold. It is in many literature it is also referred as diamond fabric. Okay. The volume wise it is very less. Only 15,000 tons approximately a year. Okay, we'll get hardly 200 to 50 grams from a goat. Very less quantity per year per animal. If you compare this volume with cotton, jute, and any other textile fibers, leave over the man-made fibers, it's very less, even less than 1%. Wool, if you consider, is only 1.5% of the total world production. Total world's fiber production, wool contributes 1.5%. And out of that, Pashmina is really negligible. Okay, so the volume-wise, it is nothing, kuch nahi hai. But if you compare with the cost-wise, see, to produce 1 kg of cotton yarn and to sell it in the market, to produce 1 kg of jute yarn and to sell it to the market, and if you produce 1 kg of Pashmina fiber and sell it to the market, huge amount of difference in the price. Okay, that is the beauty. That is why the artisan of Kashmir is famous. That is why Pashmina is famous, and the fabric that is prepared is long-term, long durability. It will be there for 10 years, 20 years down the line. Okay, so these are some key points, and many other points you already covered. Achha. So okay, then we compare wool with Pashmina fiber. Okay, so very common comparison. Many things already covered. In case of wool, we have fiber diameter from 19 micron, Australian merino 19 micron, up to 90, 100, 130 microns, coarser fiber. If you go to the Rajasthan or in Maharashtra, Karnataka, these are the fibers known for their coarseness, rigid fibers. When compared to Pashmina, it starts only 12 to 14 micron. The range is very less, 12 to 14 micron. This is the first quality difference that has already been discussed. Second is origin. The Pashmina fiber is originated from Changtangi goat. It's a goat fiber, goat original fiber. Wool is primarily from sheep. Thickness is nothing but the diameter. Thickness here in this context is the diameter only. So diameter has paramount important role deciding the price of the material. So wool, which is having 19 micron, will cost you around 700 rupees a kilo approximately. 12 micron Pashmina, 9,000 rupees a kilo, 10,000 rupees a kilo. And there are people say it's very good warm and insulating material. But if you compare, there is no comparative study as of been done with respect to thermal insulation of wool and thermal insulation of pashmina. Okay, recently we developed one instrument to measure the thermal conductivity and thermal resistance of a material, and we are currently studying that. And we assume that the pashmina will have more insulation than the wool. Now why?
Because of the less microns.
Less micron, okay, one thing. More airy. The very high fineness of the material allows it more breathable. So that breathable offers another degree, another magnitude of the thermal insulation property, which is not there in the wool. Okay, wool is also breathable, pashmina is also breathable. But with respect to fineness, the breathability, the context of breathability is much more higher with the pashmina. That's why we assume, we hypothesize that the pashmina will have more thermal insulation as compared to wool, sheep wool. Okay. Then coming to the, and I assume that you already studied the fiber test methods, yarn test methods and fabric test methods. I think these have already been covered in the training topics, okay? So we'll revise that as well during the course. So the quality and testing requirements of wool fiber. So here the presentation is divided into two parts. We'll discuss with the wool first, then pashmina. Then we'll combine the BI standards and okay? Because in many cases, the BI standards for wool and pashmina are common. And when there is an uncommon thing that I'll describe primarily, which is very important with the pashmina fiber processing and export point of view is concerned, okay? So coming back to the quality and testing requirements of wool fiber. What you think? What is the most important quality attribute in wool?
Fineness.
Okay, fineness. It's there. Fineness.
It's moisture.
Moisture. Okay. Any other quality attribute? Which needs? Pardon?
Lightweighted.
Low price.
Light. How we judge the lightweightness?
By the weave, मतलब कि अगर tight weave होगा.
No, we are talking about fiber only. No any fabric structure. Fiber, just simple fiber, without any no yarn preparation. You will forget about everything. Just take simple fiber. We are testing the quality of the fiber, and we are comparing. And this is with reference to wool. So what are the important quality attributes? Fineness is already described. Moisture is one of
The
them.
length is important.
Length is important.
Second most important is length.
Okay, very good. Next.
Fiber strength maybe.
Fiber strength,
mature
okay.
Or immature fiber.
Okay. That maturity and immaturity is belonging to cotton cellulosic cell-based fiber.
Maybe modulated.
Modulated fiber, okay. What is modulation?
The gap in between fiber.
Gap in between fiber or gap within the fiber? Within the single fiber. Okay.
Is the hollow space present
Hollow space
between the
between the
fiber?
fiber. That is modulation. Okay. Any other quality parameter that we missed? Uniformity in the fiber diameter. That always we miss because this my 10 years experience, I judged many number of times the wool fiber sample. So we always recommend or write the report in average fiber diameter plus minus this 30 microns plus minus 3 microns. Okay, now here the micron is very important because I said 12 micron fetch higher amount of money, 19 micron will fetch very less amount of money. So in that context, if say we are measuring 16 micron, we'll say 16 micron plus minus 4 micron. Is it a correct way to describe the quality?
No, sir.
Because 16 micron plus minus 4, that means it could be 12,
20.
it could be 20. Okay? So there your quality parameter measurement is critical. So how you are measuring, by which instrument you are measuring, who is measuring, and what standard you are following, testing method you are following, what conditions you are mentioning there. These are quality parameters. These are the things you need to take into consideration before describing quality. Strength analysis. So here there are three important parameters I mentioned: fineness, strength, and uniformity. Length is also important because but it is not mentioned here because length in Indian context it is not important because all Indian wools have length range from 70 to 100 mm, and Australian Merino is produced 120, 150, 200, 250 millimeter length, which is used for worsted coat manufacturing. And to be very sad to say about this, we Indians are just the laborers because we are not producing a very fine quality of merino wool here in India. So whatever we are importing around 220 million kg of wool from Australia and New Zealand and many other countries, then we are converting it into fabric. All the textile waste will be generated here, all the pollution issues will be here, all our Indian manpower will be utilized, and it will be again exported to other countries, given to the other countries, and it will come as exported fabric to us. Okay, that's the thing happening in industry, and we can't do about this because this is a set chain of value chain. It's already established. But if you want to copy this if you want to reflect this with Pashmina value chain, it is entirely different. That we'll discuss later on. So coming back to the wool fiber quality attributes, fineness is the most important parameter which decides the price. So this quality attribute measurement is important. Second is strength. Among all other natural fibers, wool is weakest. बहुत weak होता है fiber, wool. आप उसको तोड़ने जाओगे immediately टूट जाएगा. Only 9 to 10 gram per day is the tenacity. How we measure the strength of the fiber? How we measure tensile strength? Okay. How we measure?
Bundle
strength.
Bundle strength. So we prepare a bundle, and then what is the instrument that is used? Stelometer. Okay. And there is a set protocol for measuring the bundles, and there is a standard associated with the bundle strength measurement. So this is important because this is the weakest link. So we are converting strongest link, we are covering strongest link, which is fiber fineness. The weakest link is the strength. And the third important thing is we always miss that is the uniformity assessment. How consistent the fiber diameter is. Okay, that gives you the much better cell value as compared to more variation in case of maybe diameter or in case of color. So you understand quality and testing, any issues, and you can interrupt me at any point of time if you are not clear, or if you want to clarify, or if you want to go detail with particular topic. Okay, now coming to the BIS standards for wool fiber products. So all the standards, there are numbers. I will describe a few numbers, few examples of BIS standard numbers. But before that, I would like to quote that all these BIS standards are focused on these 4 topics. First is wool quality that we recently described, that is fiber fineness. Okay, then strength, then uniformity, moisture content. There are a lot of 10 to 12 physical parameters are there with wool, and for every single parameter the standard is different, which has been verified with number of years. There are a lot of amendments have been happened. Then color fastness. This is another important. Now this color fastness is in the context of after the fabric development, what happens? Like for example, if you use synthetic dye or natural dye, or you apply some finish, or you added some design, okay, what happened to the color fastness? What will happen to when the fabric is exposed to UV light, to the daylight, or after 10 washes, what will happen? Whether the color is good to washing. So all these color fastness properties are there. This again, each will have a laundrometer is the typical instrument which is used to measure the color fastness. Okay, there are a number of washing cycles. Based on that, there are a number of standards. AATCC standards are there. IS standard is there. ASTM standard is also measured to color fastness is also available. Then the finishing process. Finishing process also has a paramount vital role deciding the quality, deciding the end price of sale value of the fabric. Okay, for example, nowadays the fabric is coming with antibacterial properties. You know, the socks, you might have seen in various malls that the socks are there with antibacterial properties. So antibacterial is nothing but the fabric is the same there. EPI, PPI, construction, everything is same. Only thing is that at small finishing line, we added a chemical, okay, maybe a nanoparticle or maybe a typical traditional antibacterial agent, and then a simple chemical process which enhances the antibacterial property, and it multifold the sell value of the price of the fabric. For example, if you're selling the price 100 rupees, by writing antibacterial efficacy, you can sell it by 200 rupees. So that's the difference. Okay, so the finishing process is important. Now this finishing process has again a quality standards. There should not be any leaching of that particle. Okay, for example, nanoparticle. Is there any cytotoxic to your skin? So these are the number of standards which are currently there, and currently some of them are not in place, and many international agencies are doing that to place that standards. Particularly with nanoparticles, there are no standards as such. People say that nano is there everywhere, every walk of life. Okay, आपने जो कैप पहना है उसमें भी नैनो आ गया है. तो ऐसे प्रोडक्ट्स में आपका that nanoparticle is affecting to your skin, whether it is penetrating to respiratory lungs, we don't know. So that standards are currently in place, being in take place. There are a lot of international committees are doing that, and the environmental impact. This is important with respect to two things. One is textile industry is most polluting among all others. You take any fiber, cotton, jute, silk, wool, polyester, polypropylene, we are worst textile industries. So this is creating a lot of environmental impact. But there is another angle to this environmental impact, is that this is the very classical example of sustainability. Okay, wool and sheep and goat. Wool is coming primarily from wool, and Pashmina is coming from sheep and goat. Now these are the animals which are there since early civilization of the human mankind. Correct?
Yes.
जब से हमने पैदा हुए, सबसे पढ़ा तब से देखा है हमने, है ना? And आज भी अगर हम देखें, we have around 1.173 billion sheep on this planet. 1.173 billion sheep on this planet. And at many forums, it has been considered as a future animal. Okay, future animal. Why? Because the grazing land is shrinking. Okay, the resources are shrinking. Number of things are shrinking. So there is no place. In that context, stall feeding of sheep is easy. So you can rear sheep and you can generate sustainable income. Okay, now whatever phone you are using, the brand was not there 30 years before. And it won't be there after 30 years. You take any product, right from your hair to your toes. It has hardly a life cycle of 50 years, that's it. Now you see, there is a one animal and there is one fiber which is there since early civilization, and it is considered as a future part. So this is a typical classical example of sustainability. Now, and on the other side, we are saying environmental impact. So basically, we are making mistakes in the value chain. We are not taking the nature's gift, precious gift. We are manipulating it, and then we are selling it. So that manipulation is a role. That's why BIS standard has to come into the picture. You have to say that this BIS standard, actually this particular topic is beyond the scope of BIS standard. There are a number of other agencies that are doing that. Like for example, GOTS, Global Organic Textile Standards are coming. RWS, Responsible Wool Uses. Many export people might be doing this certification. So they say that it's organic wool, organic product. Even if you buy vegetables, organic vegetables has more demand as compared to other vegetables. So this will come in future. 5 years down the line, sustainability has more awareness across the world, and every single thing has to be associated with the sustainability. There should be a reduce 3 R's, reduce, reuse and recycle. If you are not complying with that, then you are not in the market. Particularly this is true for the entrepreneurs. Okay? If whatever product you are making, if you are complying with reduce, reuse and recycle, your business is sustainable and viable. Okay? Now, if we shift from wool to Pashmina and you see quality and testing requirements for Pashmina fiber. Now this has focus, slightly different focus than the Pashmina. Here the purity is the most important one, because the amount of Pashmina is very less, and just now we have discussed the issues with the customs, with the export people, lot of issues with the purity. So purity verification is the prime most important with respect to quality testing of Pashmina. Second is yield analysis, because the amount of Pashmina that we obtain from the goat is very less. Okay, so the yield analysis is important, and the strength evaluation, because Pashmina is even weaker than wool. Okay. So again, the weakest link is strength, and the highest link is again another important value chain gap is the purity analysis and the yield analysis. So these three things at least we should cover in the quality control of Pashmina products. Whatever value chain you're doing, if you're Pashmina fiber manufacturer, seller, trader, Pashmina spinner, Pashmina weaver, you should include all these three things at least in your quality management, in your product portfolio, in your business cycle. Okay, then you have opportunity to grow once you comply with these three standards. No? Now BI standards for Pashmina fiber products. Okay, there are some certain limits. Fiber diameter, as we know, the Pashmina fiber diameter ranges from 12 microns, starting with 12 microns and up to 16 microns. So the fiber diameter is one thing, that there is certain procedure to measure the fiber diameter, which is relatively same as compared to wool. Then purity, I'll describe the standard, BI standard typically for this purity labeling and the various testing methods, other physical parameters like moisture content, the strength, elongation. Okay, these are the parameters that we can that are secondary parameters that we can measure if you have time and if you have money to do that, and if your customer wants that, then you can do this testing, additional testing methods for Pashmina fiber. Now methods of determining wool and Pashmina fiber content in textiles. This again has a similar content. We'll discuss with respect to a typical standard and advanced materials and advanced methods. So look at the standard, and this is the core part of the presentation, the IS 17269. This standard was established in 2021. Okay, and this is under the chairmanship again Dr. D.V. Shakyawar. Dr. Sarfraz Wani has contributed a lot. At least so this standard took around 3 years to formulate. We started in 2019, if I'm not wrong, and then we come up with the all detailed description of the standard for identification, labeling, and marketing of Pashmina products. So, who are the business people here? What you should do is you should measure this all your Pashmina products using this standard. This is internationally accepted standard IS 17269, and always write at the line. This product has been tested according to IS 17269 2021. This is number one. Second step is enable. Enable is obviously needed because that says you are technically competent to use that standard. But at least you should comply. This is the product that's been developed with, tested according to this standard. Correct? Now what that standard does? Okay. We have a lot of custom samples. In Avikanagar, we have a DNA extraction technology, and we can identify DNA of different fibers. So we did that, and we found that there is a significant amount of difference in the bands of Pashmina and wool, because Pashmina belongs to goat origin, and wool belongs to sheep origin. So obviously there is a DNA difference that has been highlighted, and we patented the technology. We already granted the patent. We obtained the patent. However, people say that everybody cannot do that DNA extraction. That's a later stage. Initial stage, how we can identify by morphology based the fiber is Pashmina or fiber is wool. Just looking at the fabric sample, how we can do that. So purposely we added two methods, light microscopy. So the first fundamental thing is identify the fiber diameter, irrespective of the material, whether it be a fiber, yarn, or fabric, or processed fabric, or dyed fabric, finished fabric, anything. You can cut it down and you can measure the fiber diameter at any point of time, no issues, using a light microscope. It's a very simple microscope technique. SKUAST might be having this.
Yes, yes. Already shown them.
Yeah. So already you have demonstration has been done. So you know how to operate the light microscope, how to identify the fiber diameter, and just because with the micron difference you can identify whether it's Pashmina or not Pashmina. This is number one. Now suppose people say that there is a lot of foreign origin particles are there, particles similar diameter are there. People use polyester, a small, very fine denier polyester, which is very close to Pashmina, and then they add that. That is also quite a possibility with the textiles, because in textiles, once you blend, you don't know what is happening. So blend analysis can be done, chemical method, that can be done, but we purposely did not add that because we did not see that many times Pashmina, polyester has been added. Instead, we have focused on scanning electron microscopy. Now here in scanning electron microscopy, the resolution is much higher. So there's a unique feature with the wool and Pashmina is the surface scales. The scales are, have you seen the SEM image of Pashmina and wool?
Yes.
Yeah, you have SEM here?
Same. No, they have not seen same. They have seen like microscope.
SEM images, okay. So these SEM images at around 2000 type magnification or 5000 type magnification, they will show you exact scale diameter, scale surface at the surface of the fiber. Again, does not matter whether it is yarn, fiber, fabric, processed fabric, does not matter. It will show you whether this is wool or not. Okay. So first is you identify based on diameter, this is wool or Pashmina or any other fiber, then you discard the other fiber, that's okay. Second step is scanning electron microscopy. Here we will see whether the fiber is wool or not. But again, sheep wool and Pashmina wool has similar surface structure. So it's very difficult to judge that based on the scanning electron microscopy. Any other fiber you can again discard, like shatush, will have a different surface morphology than this one. Then you can discard that, okay, surface morphology is different, that's why it is not there. Then the next stage is DNA polymerase chain reaction, PCR method, where we can identify the Pashmina based on the DNA analysis. Okay? Have you seen PCR?
We have seen. They have not seen.
There is one medical student here, no? You biotechnologist or medical. You have come across any polymerase chain reaction method or protein analysis?
Test environment.
Okay. So this is a biotechnology tool which is used for typical protein characterization, protein analysis. So and PCR is very common now. मैं कोरोना के टाइम पे तो काफ़ी चला था ये PCR से आइडेंटिफाई करना. So you might be knowing about this techniques, है ना? So this standard is applicable to raw fiber, sliver, yarn, dyed processed fabrics and finished products. And the most important part of this standard is it claims that the product that you tested has at least 90% Pashmina fiber. So even if you tested all this thing, if you find anything else beyond that, okay, even if you can use the standard, if your product is made up of 90% Pashmina, okay, so because see it's a natural material, obviously variability is the key. मतलब variability तो रहेगा ही रहेगा. There is one word called wabi sabi. Have you come across wabi sabi? नहीं. Wabi sabi. What is wabi sabi? नहीं. किसी को idea? कोई बताएगा क्या? अच्छा. Wabi sabi is look at the beauty at irregularities. Okay? This is a flat, circular, flat, rectangular shape. Looks very nice. But आपको ये बहुत different shape में दिखाया गया. If you can look at the beauty of that particular shape, irregular shape, then that concept is called as wabi sabi. It's a Japanese technique to look at different perspective of materials, different perspective of world. So in that context, this particular clause has been added. So if your product or fabric, Pashmina fabric has more than 90% of pure Pashmina, you can defend your sample based on the standard IS 17269:2021. And this is the exclusive standard for Pashmina. Yes, sir. Yeah.
So actually my question is like, does Pashmina fiber share its morphology with some other wool? Like some other wool is having same kind of morphology as Pashmina has?
Morphology wise, the structure is same. That's why we are going for DNA analysis.
Yeah, that's my question. Like how DNA, like this PCR method differentiates with SEM?
Scanning electron microscopy is based on the physics principle. Okay, this is a morphology at the surface. So protein structure will not differ much with different protein fibers. Pashmina is a protein fiber, wool is a protein fiber, shatush may also be a protein fiber. So surface morphology may be a similar, little bit difference is there that we can quantify and say this is this particular angle because wool has a typical cell like structure. Root से tip पे जाएंगे तो ऐसा होगा. पश्मीना का थोड़ा अलग होता है.
So just on the basis of like microscopy or SEM, it is not sufficient.
No, it is not sufficient. Exactly. That's why we need to go for the third step. That's why this standard is very beautiful. So in phase-wise manner, you can identify whether this is Pashmina or not. And even if it is pure Pashmina, there is a chances that because it's natural material, there are a lot of added chances of foreign material addition at the stage of tasting itself. That's why we added the 90% mark benchmark is added into the standard. Yeah? Okay. So there's some more examples of BI standards. Now, as I said, this is the only exclusive standard for Pashmina, IS 17269, labeling and purity identification of Pashmina. However, other products, other quality attributes have similar kind of BI standards. So you can use the same BI standard, IS standard for wool as well as Pashmina. For example, for measuring fiber diameter. So IS 744, that was standard established in 2000, it's still active. This is a method for determination of wool fiber diameter and percentage of mutilation using microscopy. The one you demonstrated, and the one you did by yourself, hands-on. Okay, this is based on IS 7744. So what did you do there? Can someone tell me how you measure the fiber diameter?
So we actually took some sample fibers from the wool there. We put it on the slide and we used some solution there. And then there was a software in the computer. We put it on the microscope. And then there was a software also which used to like measure the diameter of a fiber, and then it was giving up to more than more than 50 images per sample, and then we used to have an average of the diameter.
How many number of readings you have taken?
I think 50, 150.
Demonstration to you 50.
50. Well, around 300 or 200 at least measurements should be there for one single fiber diameter analysis to describe in terms of average diameter plus minus standard deviation along with the CV, coefficient of variation, and modulation percentage. Okay, in India also, modulation has three different terms: KMP, hetero, and hairy. Whereas in Australian Merino wool, they describe modulation as a whole because they have very less modulation in Australian Merino. उसमें variation नहीं होता Australian Merino में, but India में बहुत vary होता है. So the 1% से लेकर के 75% तक vacuum होता है. Okay, vacuum is also sometimes good, particularly with carpets. It will provide you more resiliency. That's why Indian wool has more demand in carpets. And the carpet industry is worth more than 13,000 crore business, export business there with India today. And a lot of fashion people are now coming towards this carpet industry to modify, to add new designs and to modify the methods of carpet manufacturing. There's a lot of efforts needed in carpet manufacturing. The second is IS 1349. This is the methods for determination of wool fiber content of raw wool. Because raw wool has not only wool, but it has a lot of other parameters. Like, क्या होता है? क्या हो सकता है?
Keratin है इसमें, सुंठ है, dust है, dirt है.
90% by weight is keratin, no doubt, it's a protein one. Where we're not extracting protein here. But as you said, dirt, dust, vegetable matter, sweat, grease, these are the other things which are there adherent with the wool. So there are methods to clean the wool. There are some physical methods, there are some chemical methods to remove the grease and all stuff. Okay, but here we are restricting only if you get the raw wool, how much you can, by the procedure you follow, you will know 100 grams raw wool is there, only 60% is pure wool. Okay, this is important because this has direct impact on the sale value. Okay, before selling your wool or before selling your pashmina to a merchant, if you say this is the raw content of my pashmina according to this standard, you can increase the price at least by 25%. Okay, this is all economics related. So this BI is nothing.
What reference covering
You need to write the reference. The only thing is enable accreditation, no? As sir was mentioning, everything needed to be certified by enable lab, and we don't have the enable certification. But at least we should start using the standards and saying that and certified that this is done as per this method. Yes, this. So this will increase the credibility of you and your staff and your lab and your business. Okay. Then there are other methods like textile dye stuff, because we mentioned about the color fastness. So IS 447, you did not need to remember all this stuff. Okay, all these standards are available on the website of Bureau of Indian Standards. You can download that, and if you cannot download it freely, you can pay around 300 rupees or so for download one standard. So it's not a big deal. Okay, 200-250 रुपए में आपको standard मिल जाता है. आराम से download करो, उसको पढ़ो, and accordingly आप उसका, and many education institutes already has the standards. Then there is one more IS 6919, which is not very much used in practice, but it is related with the determination of mean diameter of fiber using air permeability method. Okay, airflow is there, and how much airflow passing through the.
I believe now, sir, this is absolute now, this test.
Yeah.
This is absolute.
So just it is related to the mean fiber diameter. No, it's there active. 2015 तक. Yeah. No?
Exactly, but those machineries are not available right now in the laboratories.
Vaira air permeability tester नहीं हो सकता. But we can use the modern one. MO21 is air permeability tester. You can use that, and you can keep the fiber samples over there, and you can do that.
It is on the basis of weight of the sample as well as the porosity what they.
Exactly. Okay. So, what is the importance of compliance with BI standards for wool and Pashmina fiber? Why we need to do this? Why BI standards? Why there are committees? Why there is a chairman? Why they are doing a lot of efforts to manufacture, to create standards and to communicate to our academics and to the industry? Because we are not doing this, and that's why we are lacking in business. Because there is no confidence in the consumer. If you are, as I mentioned, if you write at the end of your report that this particular test has been done complying with IS this will increase the credibility of the consumer. Okay, you always buy an Apple phone, not any other brand. Why?
Because it has maintained the credibility in the market. It is everything, quality, service, and other things.
Every single thing they do, they have certified. This is done. This is unique. Okay, based on this quality parameters. So there is no compromise on the quality with respect to Apple. That's why people prefer Apple. They are ready to give charge, ready to pay more. Even we need to bring lot of quality everywhere. So okay. Then sustainability. Okay, another important thing is sustainability. Here the word sustainability means is minimizing the environmental regulations, because this is the key driver in next 10 years down the line. Okay, BIS has limited scope in that. I don't know BIS. We haven't started on this sustainability aspect. 5 minutes more. That's it. Yes. I'm on the second last slide. Okay. Sustainability is related. We need to be sustainable. That's why correct point I'm discussing. Okay. So sustainability is the key driver in the market and in the with respect to environment. So as long as you don't not necessarily you use BIS standards, but you can use different standards like GOTS, like RWS, Responsible Wool Use, organic certification offered by European countries. That will improve the business angle of your Pashmina product. Okay, and global reputation. Whenever we will comply with IS or BI standard, there is definitely a global reputation. You can claim because Pashmina product is exported to number of countries from Kashmir. Okay, there are a lot of exporters are there. So you, for that global reputation, you should definitely comply the parameters, quality parameters, every single manufacturing step with different BI standards. And there are some benefits like assured quality. As I said, Apple is the best one as compared to other phones. Definitely you get assured quality when you follow a typical standard. And if you have enable certification, that's an added advantage. Then nobody is going to challenge that, as Dr. Shakir said. Nobody is going to challenge that. Enable certified lab, ISO this method, you're done. आग बंद करके लोग आपके पास आएंगे. आपको जाने की जरूरत नहीं है मार्केट में. People will ask for your name, your company name, your everything. Then authenticity guarantee is there. With respect to Pashmina, authenticity is the key, and if you create that authenticity guarantee, definitely you should use this BIS compliance along with the legal certification. And enchanting blends. There are a lot of things in textiles beyond the scope of wool, which we need to incorporate because textile is a big term, big hub. So we should go in collaboration with other fibers as well. So in conclusion, the future scope of BIS is that we should always ensure a quality. We should expand our horizons, and we should always strive for the innovations in the market with R&D, with academics, and if we progress all together, then definitely we'll progress. Otherwise, it's not only R&D is progressing or academics is progressing and industry is lagging behind. There's no point of publishing papers if there's no business. And there's no point doing only business, there is no gain to the society. I hope I'm clear. Okay, thanks a lot. Thank you.
From this, he came from, he's from Dr. Vinod Katam for information of Dr.